Imagine an ER waiting room with your favorite blanket and pillow, your cat's Pixel and Widget, and your mom's chicken soup. At Dignity Health, we know the only thing worse than being in pain is being stuck in an ER waiting room. So we offer In Quicker. You get an estimated ER arrival time online so you can start your wait at home. It's just another way of putting leading-edge medicine within easy reach. Learn more at strosehospitals.org/ER. Dignity Health, including St. Rose Dominicans, Rose de Lima, San Martin, and Siena campuses in Henderson and Las Vegas. Hello, human kindness.
Lose yourself in the Steakhouse Angus Thick Burger. 100% Angus beef dripping with A1 sauce makes it luxury. The Steakhouse Angus Thick Burger is back at Carl's Jr. Feed your happy. Available for limited time at participating Carl's Jr. restaurants. Price of participation may vary. A1 is a registered trademark of Kraft Foods.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Jeffrey Epstein Show. I'm your host, Bobbycapucci, and this is a morning update. What's up, everybody, and welcome to the program. Hope you're all having a fantastic Tuesday. I started reading a book last night, and the book is called The Wolf Boys. And it's about these two American teenagers, or young men, who are recruited to go and work for the Los Zetas cartel. And it is absolutely mind-blowing. What these dudes did, what they were involved in, and the whole entire surrounding story is mind-blowing. And the story of the Wolf Boys is one of the many, 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 many tales from the failed war on drugs. You know, when we think and talk about the war on drugs, we think about it locally, right? We think about George Bush talking about how crack was bought at the park across from the White House, even though that never happened. We think about, this is your brain on drugs and the egg frying. But we don't think about the ramifications worldwide. We don't think about what our war on drugs here in America has done elsewhere. So we're going to get into all of that very, very soon on the new podcast, Life is a Mosh Pit. The story of the Wolf Boys just personifies the underlying and untold story of the failed war on drugs. And folks, I'm telling you, it's going to be pretty brutal listening for you. The subject of the war on drugs and everything that goes into it is some of the most draconian, sordid, disgusting shit in the history of the world. And, you know, I hear people talk about systemic racism and throw that word around a whole lot. And personally, I believe that it's used incorrectly a lot of the time. One thing that I don't think is brought up nearly enough, though, that I believe personally truly is systemic racism, is the war on drugs. Just take a look what it has done to poor neighborhoods, specifically African American neighborhoods. So we're going to get into all of that. We're going to dig into that. That's going to be the first major topic we dive into on Life is a Mosh Pit. Now, what else is going to be going on is we're going to do daily news updates on that podcast as well. Different stories from around the world, you know, what's going on in the Middle East, etc., etc. But we're going to have quote-unquote seasons, right? The first season will be the war on drugs. The second season will be corporate corruption or whatever. And we'll run it like that. But during the season runs of the episodes, there will be the daily drops, kind of like the Epstein Show, but with world news and different subjects that interest me and that I think would interest you, sprayed in along with that. So it's going to be a daily news show, but we're going to dive in and get deep on subjects in series form. So I'm pretty stoked about it. I've been doing a lot of work on the podcast. I've got some storyboards going, and I've even been messing around editing some video to have some companion videos to go along with the podcast. Now, YouTube is pretty much the only option for, mass viewing or whatever. So we'll probably just use YouTube for the companion videos, and we'll rock it like that. But I think that you folks are going to be very happy with the end result, because there's just a lot of stuff going on in the world and in America that just is not covered enough, in my opinion. So we're gonna try and fill in a couple of those little gaps there, and talk about the world news on a daily basis, and then, like I was saying, we're gonna have these different series. Like the first one is the war on drugs, and we're gonna go deep. We're gonna go all the way back to the beginning, when the quote unquote war was declared, and we're gonna go through and we're gonna talk about some of the ramifications of the war on drugs. I don't think that's a topic that gets nowhere near the publicity that it should, because it affects all of us directly or indirectly. And it needs to be fixed. It's obvious the pathway that we're on is going nowhere, and it's obvious that the war on drugs has failed. Just take a look around you. People are dropping dead every second from fentanyl overdoses, and it's just a nightmare. And I highly doubt any of you out there listening have not been touched by this in one way or the other. I know personally I lost an uncle to an overdose. And don't even get me started on the countless number of friends I've lost to the war on drugs. So that is what you folks have to look forward to on the new podcast, Life is a Mosh Pit. And it's on its way, folks. We're almost there. I might even be able to drop a few episodes before May. I was thinking June. I was thinking a June release, but we might get some episodes in May. I might start doing the dailies very, very soon. So keep an eye out for that, folks. All right, today we have more Ghislaine Maxwell news. Now, we know that Maxwell and her legal team have made all sorts of claims about her conditions inside the jail, what she's dealing with, and even going so far as to say she's been abused by a guard. Now, no evidence has been provided by Team Maxwell for any of that. There's no video footage of it, none of that. Just her saying it, right? So, again, what we have here is another allegation made by Maxwell and her team, but this time it has to do with confidential documents. Let's jump into this article from Yahoo, and let's see what James Hill and Aaron Katursky have to say. Headline: Ghislaine Maxwell claims jail guards seized her confidential documents. Lawyers for Ghislaine Maxwell are accusing guards at a federal detention center of improperly confiscating and reviewing her legal documents after she met with her lawyers at the facility over the weekend, according to a letter Monday to the federal judge overseeing Maxwell's criminal case. All right, that's a big situation to find yourself in if you're the guards, huh? Supposedly you're stealing confidential material from Ghislaine Maxwell? Is there any video footage of this alleged theft? Is there any sort of evidence of this alleged theft? Or just your assertions? Because you've already established a pattern of being untruthful, Bobby C. Sternum. Your legal team has already established a pattern of crying wolf. Miss Maxwell observed 3 guards going through the folder. Oh, convenient. Miss Maxwell observed, huh? He said, she said. Again, they're trying to muddy the waters. Bad. What they're trying to do is make it seem like the jail is so incompetent that Ghislaine Maxwell cannot be held there and be kept safe. That is what they're shooting for. Very transparent if you're paying attention. Reading papers and pages of the notebook, dividing papers into 2 stacks, and leaving the room with the papers, wrote Bobby C. Sternum, one of Maxwell's criminal lawyers, in a letter to U.S. District Judge Allison Nathan. So where's the video of this? Is there video footage of this? Because if the guards are acting improperly, the guards should be dealt with. Pretty simple. I'm not going to rehash how I feel about the system. I talked about that yesterday, but anyone who's doing anything that's considered inappropriate should face the consequences. And I don't care if you're a prison guard, a lieutenant, or the warden of the prison. Maxwell's lawyer said guards then intimidated Miss Maxwell by standing knee to knee over her as she used the bathroom, threatening her with a disciplinary infraction, the letter states. I mean, come on. This is getting to a point where it's ridiculous now. Every little thing is complained about. Every little thing that happens in there, they're going to complain about. And then they're going to say that, oh, Maxwell's not being treated fairly. She's not being represented. How about the dudes that are in jail right now, or women, who are really being abused by guards, or being abused by their cellmate, or being used as a punching bag by the other inmates, or even worse things that I'm not going to even get into? Where's Bobby C. Sternum defending them? Where were all of these lawyers, Mr. Oscar Marcus Suck Squad Man McGee included, before all of this, talking about how the system's broken, using all of their power, all of their means, all of their connections to try and get things fixed? They were nowhere to be seen, folks. So miss me with the bullshit. All these people that show up all of a sudden and want to talk about how bad prison is and there needs to be prison reform, all these people that are showing up as far as Maxwell's lawyers and shit, they've been part of the problem forever. Remember that. The latest dispute over the conditions of Maxwell's confinement at the Metropolitan Detention Center began on Saturday, one day after she pleaded guilty to an 8-count superseding indictment alleging she aided and conspired with convicted sex offender, pedophile, Jeffrey Epstein in the sexual abuse of 4 minors between 1994 and 2004. Again, all they're trying to do is create an air of impropriety around the whole entire incarceration. They want it to seem like the prison is absolutely an unsafe place for Maxwell and that she's being abused at every turn. That's what they want you to believe. We know that's not reality. But it's certainly a vivid picture that they're trying to paint. And this is what $1,500, $2,000 an hour will get you, folks. Staff at the jail informed Maxwell's lawyers after the visit that she had violated policy by receiving paperwork from her attorneys that was not in her possession when she entered the visiting area, according to an email from the facility's legal counsel attached to Sternum's letter. Well, there you go. Why are her lawyers slipping her shit that they shouldn't be slipping her? They should be in trouble too. What, we've never seen a lawyer slip a client something they shouldn't have? Yeah, no lawyer's ever brought a gun into a penitentiary. No lawyer's ever passed on messages from a criminal enterprise to other associates. What world are we living in? Because that shit happens quite a bit. Believe it. Oh, what, you thought your $1,500, your $2,000 an hour was just to get you some legal counsel? The world of lawyers is smarmy as hell, folks, and all you have to do is a quick Google search to see what kind of contraband lawyers have brought in for their clients throughout the years. So please, again, come with some strong evidence, Bobby C. Sternheim, or please, respectively, shut your yap. Sternum called the allegation inaccurate and noted that Maxwell and her lawyers were under the constant watch of 4 to 5 guards with a portable camera, and fixed surveillance cameras recorded the 2.5-hour visit. Okay, so let's end it all. Let's see the footage. Roll the tapes. You know, like in a football game, you go to instant replay? Well, why don't we do that here? Let's see it all. Whoever's in charge here, the judges, their clerks, whoever it might be, they should have access to the tapes. Let's see the footage. And if Sternheim and Maxwell are lying about this, then they should have to feel the consequences of it. You see, you notice they never say any specific names. Guard Wilson, badge number 55555555555 is the one who did it. Nothing specific. It's all just, allegations of the guards, as if the guards are just one gigantic entity. Which guard was it, Ghislaine? At no time did the guards, who were assiduously watching the filming the legal conference, bring any concern to my attention, Sternheim wrote. The conduct of which both Miss Maxwell and counsel have been accused did not happen, and the conduct on the part of the guards was reprehensible. See the language here? It gets more fiery now that she's coming under fire as well. So she becomes more standoffish. We see you, Bobby C. Sternheim. We see your strategy. It's transparent. And frankly, from where I'm sitting, it's straight garbage. And any prosecutor worth their weight should be able to bury these people. I'm talking absolute burying in the legal system. The institution's visitation policy allows detainees to bring materials to a legal meeting that were previously received in the mail, but does not permit carrying out any additional items. The contents of legal material will be visually scanned but not read by staff, the policy states. And look, again, I'll tell you folks, I'm not a big fan of the policies of these prisons, right? But these are the policies that are in place. She's not going to skate by. And while I find the way jail treats people pretty reprehensible, if I'm being honest, some people deserve to be in jail. Some people play stupid games, and they deserve to win stupid prizes. And when I say some people, I'm looking directly at you, Ghislaine. Maxwell's attorneys were threatening legal action over the alleged incident and sent a letter to the facility's lawyer demanding that all video and notes surrounding the Saturday visit be preserved. Good, let's see the video. Let's see it. Because I have to tell you, Bobby Sternheim, Oscar Marcus, whatever the hell his name is, and the rest of these clowns are an absolute joke in my estimation. I wouldn't hire these people to get rid of a traffic ticket for me. I'd rather call the pink lawyers here in Las Vegas who specialize in that kind of law. You know what? You better call Saul. The documents in question were returned to one of Maxwell's lawyers on Sunday, but Sternheim claimed that it is unknown whether any seized documents were retained or copied by the MDC. Oh, give me a break. It's unknown, so you don't have an accounting on what sort of paperwork's coming and going? So what are you even talking about then? If you don't even know what paperwork is there or what's not, what do you even mean, Bobby C. Sternheim? Federal prosecutors in Manhattan declined to comment on Sternheim's letter. The Bureau of Prisons did not immediately respond to an inquiry from ABC News. Well, that's shocking. Sure, they'll be dragging their feet. They'll probably say, the prisons will say, well, we have an investigation going on. We're looking into the guards from when Epstein died, so we can't release any information on this. That's their favorite go-to, right? So don't get it twisted. I am no fan of the federal government either. Earlier Monday, another attorney for Maxwell, David Marcus, argued before an appeals court panel that Nathan Erden rejecting Maxwell's 3 attempts to be let out on bail pending trial. Oh, she did she? Well, since David Marcus told us that, and, he went to Harvard with Mr. I kept my underpants on, we should just, roll with it. Since Oscar David Marcus told us that, I think we should just take it as gospel. This dude reminds me of, Steve Scaramucci 2.0. Ghislaine Maxwell is not Jeffrey Epstein, Marcus said. For the past 10 months, she's been detained in horrific conditions that make it impossible for her to prepare for her trial. Shut up, all right? I really don't have anything else to say to this Oscar Marcus, David Marcus, whatever his name is, toolbag. Enough with this guy already, Steve Scaramucci wannabe looking ass. Marcus argued the government has presented insufficient evidence to warrant Maxwell's remand. Oh, has it, huh? What about the revolving door of witnesses, Pally? What about all the girls and all the people that have said your client, Ghislaine Maxwell, was not only in on this, she was a boss figure? What about that? That's all BS. Everyone's lying, and we should just believe your client because she's such a stand-up individual. I mean, yeah, you know, a bipedal lizard and all is a big deal. A serpent that walks on two legs is a big deal and all. But besides that, I don't know what you're thinking here, Mr. Marcus, because your client certainly appears to be guilty. So I don't know what sort of nonsense you're trying to run here, but nobody's buying it. We just want a fair opportunity, a fair chance, so that she can get ready for the trial of her life, Marcus said. Yeah, everybody else in jail who's waiting trial is facing the same exact roadblocks that Maxwell is. Are all of them going to be treated the same way? If not, shut your yap, and Maxwell's going to have to sit in jail and rot like anyone else. The appellate judges peppered the government with questions about guards checking on Maxwell every 15 minutes by shining a flashlight in her cell, a practice the government has defended as necessary to confirm that the defendant is not in distress every 15 minutes. Probably a bit much, right? I would agree that that's probably a bit much, but it's a catch-22 for the government at this point. If Maxwell does get hurt in their custody, forget about it. But if there's all these overbearing draconian measures, they're also looked at as scuzzbags. So I understand the weird position that they're in. And frankly, I think all they're worried about at this point is safeguarding Maxwell to trial. To do so, staff point a flashlight to the ceiling of the defendant's cell to illuminate the cell sufficiently to confirm that the defendant is breathing. Prosecutors wrote in a February letter to the court. Why not just put a new camera facing the cell, one that can zoom in, and then you can zoom in on her every 15 minutes and see if she's breathing and not disrupt her sleeping pattern. That's called splitting the baby, folks. We need to do something like that, perhaps. Because all these technicalities and loopholes are Maxwell's only life preserver.
Imagine an ER waiting room with your favorite blanket and pillow, your cat's Pixel and Widget, and your mom's chicken soup. At Dignity Health, we know the only thing worse than being in pain is being stuck in an ER waiting room. So we offer In Quicker. You get an estimated ER arrival time online so you can start your wait at home. It's just another way of putting leading-edge medicine within easy reach. Learn more at strosehospitals.org/ER. Dignity Health, including St. Rose Dominicans, Rose de Lima, San Martin, and Siena campuses in Henderson and Las Vegas. Hello, human kindness.
Is she a suicide risk or not? Has the Bureau of Prisons concluded she's a suicide risk? Or is there some other reason why they're shining lights all night long? Asked one of the judges during oral argument. We have not been told that she is a suicide risk, Assistant U.S. Attorney Laura Pomerantz said. Then, like I said yesterday, that she should be taken off of suicide watch. I agree with that. But also, if she is taken off of suicide watch, well, you know what I said about that, then they have to take responsibility if something happens to her. Pomerantz said Nathan is aware of the circumstances under which the defendant is confined, but denied Maxwell release on bail because she thinks she is a flight risk. The appellate judges asked the defense about Maxwell's ties to foreign countries and her significant financial resources. The defense pointed out Maxwell has offered to renounce her foreign citizenships in England and France and to put her assets of more than $20 million into a monitored account. I'm not sure what else she can do to demonstrate she's not a risk, Marcus said. That's the point. Nothing, okay? She can't do anything. She's a risk to flee. Point blank, period, Oscar Marcus. Get ready for the trial, my friend. You're spinning your wheels here. The 3-judge panel took the arguments under advisement, but there was no immediate ruling. Maxwell's trial is currently scheduled to begin on July 12th. Her lawyers have asked the court to postpone until the fall or winter to allow them time to investigate and prepare for allegations in the superseding indictment, which added 2 new charges and a 4th alleged survivor. The government opposes the delay, citing among other reasons the stress on the alleged survivors ahead of the trial. Nathan indicated in a hearing on Friday that she would decide soon whether to grant the defense request. So, folks, there you have it. Ghislaine Maxwell's team, right back at it, making all sorts of assertions and assumptions and doing everything that they possibly can to throw some cold water on the burning embers of the prosecution's very strong case. If you'd like to contact me, you can do that at bobbycapucci@protonmail.com. That's BOBBYCAPUCCI@protonmail.com. You can also find me on Twitter at BOBBY_CAPUCCI. All of the links that go with this episode can be found in the description box. As for me, I will be back later on tonight if there's some news to jump on. If not, I will be back tomorrow morning. All right, everybody. I hope you all have a fantastic day.
Picture your favorite McDonald's breakfast sandwich. Maybe it's a sizzling sausage McMuffin served on a freshly toasted English muffin, and the way its single slice of melty American cheese sticks oh so gently to the wrapper. Or is it a flaky sausage biscuit served on a warm buttermilk biscuit brushed with real butter that begs you to grab 2 napkins? Now picture your morning at McDonald's getting any 2 for just $2. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal. Single item at regular price. Picture your favorite McDonald's breakfast sandwich. Maybe it's a sizzling sausage McMuffin served on a freshly toasted English muffin, and the way its single slice of melty American cheese sticks oh so gently to the wrapper. Or is it a flaky sausage biscuit served on a warm buttermilk biscuit brushed with real butter that begs you to grab 2 napkins? Now picture your morning at McDonald's getting any 2 for just $2. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal. Single item at regular price.